Yeah. So who was Lakshmi ji? Was it?
Sri Vidya.
Sri Vidya. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Uh, the last shloka we read, I I am not a sannyasi. I know that, but the whatever we hear or we see, we understand that while we understand that, and how does it say that we are not doing it? Even for a sannyasi, he understands the whatever he sees and whatever he speaks, everything. But how does it say? How does the Krishna says here that he is not doing it on his own?
Yeah. So when the person says I am not doing something, the I refers to the Atma. It does not refer to the body. Actions are happening through the body and the sense organs. Correct? The body performs actions, really speaking. Even though the karta is there, I must decide to perform actions. Only then actions happen. That is there, no doubt about that. But still, actions are connected to the body. But when you talk about Atma, Atma being Sarvagataha, Atma being Niravayavaha, all pervasive and without any parts, and Avikaryaha, without undergoing any change. Anything that acts has to undergo change. Atma does not undergo change. Therefore, Atma is Akarta. That is the way to understand this. Yeah, we are not able to hear you, Sri Vidyaji. There's nothing. You're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Something is, I think the audio the signal is not coming through. Something happened. Okay, check that audio, then please ask again. Yeah, go ahead, Maheshji.
So I have two, three questions. So one of them is in today's class. He said karma yoga. It is good for you. He tells Arjuna. He previously also it said, and for most of the people, and then he said even with Achirena Brahma, you with no time you realize Brahma. But my question is, I can do karma yoga without lobha, all greed, madam, matsarya, and all that. But that doesn't mean I understand Atma. So my question is, how do you attain the same without understanding Atma or without realizing self? Because all along in this, even though karma yoga, nowhere it said, I mean, we interpreted saying that this is a prerequisite or to condition yourself and then go through Jnana Yoga. But in this sloka, he says, even while doing that, you will attain the same Brahma. That means I don't need to know anything about Atma, Jnana or anything. I mean, am I understanding correct or wrong?
Yeah, so one thing Krishna has made clear that Jnanagni Dagda Karma. So that Jnanam is very important. Jnanam of Atma, which is what was taught in the second chapter. Atma has to be known as Avinashi, as Niravayavaha, as Avikaryaha, Ityadi. All this we have to know. So knowledge is definitely there. What he's saying is that Karma Yogena, Kramena Karma Yogena Jnana Prapti. Okay. Staying lifestyle, that lifestyle you lead the life of Karma Yoga and pursue the study of Shastra. So the study of the Shastra is common to both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Common to both Grihastha and Sannyasi. Correct? Study of the Shastra is same. It doesn't change. Be a Karma Yogi. Because I still have, the duties have to be performed. And so I need to polish myself. And so, but I have to study the Shastra. There is no choice. So there is no choice. Therefore, study the Shastra while being a Karma Yogi, while being a Grahastha. That is what is being said.
So not just doing understanding all that, but still we need to understand the self to attain. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe the way it said, like you do karma yoga, you will attain. Then to me, it's, at least I interpret it as not worry about Atma.
Indirectly, yeah, you will attain it. Not directly, indirectly.
What do you mean indirectly?
Indirectly means through jnana only.
Yeah, so again, it's a
Preparatory, it's preparatory, yes. Play it safe. Play it safe, be a karma yogi. It's, don't jump to sannyasa too soon.
and he says that karma yoga is superior also. I mean, I don't know, most
For
people.
him, for him it is superior. That's why. That's because of Arjuna's question.
Yeah, but my question is, most of the, I know most of us, but there are sannyasi who become sannyasi at a young age without going through grahastha ashrama, right? Including Adi Shankara. There are several, all the, Sringeri, Kanchipuram, and all the Swamijis. So that means when that is superior, the karma yoga is superior, or the grahastha ashrama is superior to going directly through sannyasa. Then my question is, like, when it takes your time to learn all this shastram. So if you go through all your grahastha ashrama time, by the time you start learning or getting full knowledge, you are quite old. So you are not in a position to impart that knowledge to others. Whereas when you are young and learn, you at a much younger age, you can impart that knowledge to others, isn't it? Like Adi Shankara.
So what is your question?
So my question is, so I thought because of that sannyasa is better because you are not diverted, or you are not disturbed or distracted by grahasthasrama.
Yeah, if you're ready for sannyasa, you can take sannyasa. And Krishna's advice is general advice. For most people, this grahastha ashrama is the right ashrama. That is what he's saying. So the examples you quoted are exceptions. So exceptions are there. So the person was a grahastha in a previous janma. We accept that. Even Shankara would accept that if you ask him. In the previous janma, I could have, because there's so many janmas, everybody has had janmas. And so grahastha ashrama is done, karma yoga completed, and they're ready for sannyasa. Ready. Look at that short lifespan for Shankara, and what a powerful life he had. What an impact he's had on all.
Yeah, we call him an avatar, we say. But other, like for example, Paramacharya lived close to 100 years.
Yeah, so what is your question? That's what I'm asking. So what is your problem, or is there a problem?
So my question is, if I take through the grahastha ashrama and wait for the vanaprastha and all, by the time I'm 60 and all that, there's not much time left to impart what I learned to somebody else. So see, one good thing is that absolute, what I'm saying is exclusively pursuit of knowledge.
See, today is all we have. I'm very happy if you say I'm going to live till 80, 90. That's good. That means you're very confident. It's good. That kind of confidence I don't have. Tomorrow whether I'm going to.
I know.
And so only today is all I have. So do what is to be done now. And yeah, if you want to study, go ahead and study, and go all the way. And nothing should stop you. And because sannyasa generally in our tradition, it is a guru has to give the sannyasa to the shishya. That is the tradition. It's not like, should I go by car or by bus, then you choose to go by bus. No, not like that. So therefore, that consonance happens between guru and shishya. And if the guru says take the sannyasa, take sannyasa. Over. And that's why it's always comes from the guru, because if the student is making a mistake, the guru can point out. Then you can wait for a little longer, like that he or she can say. And so, yeah, that's why the ashrama is, the study of the shastram is constant. Which ashrama? If you are ready for it, you can take sannyasa. If you can say, I don't have any more duties, then you can take sannyasa. Or if the guru can step in and say, no, now that person is ready for sannyasa. Okay, even though it appears to the external world that that person has duties. Shankara had duties to the mother. He left his mother. So what do you do? So it's Ishvara Ajna. So between Guru and Shishya, what happens, we don't question. And so yeah, that's whatever life, wherever life takes us, it can go. Maheshji, I mean, it's nothing. There is no conflict anywhere. I don't see a conflict at all.
No, I know. I'm thinking maybe it could have been, and I don't know. First when we finished the second chapter, understood that okay, Jnana Yoga is the only way to attain. We in fact stated several times, Jnana Yoga is the only way to attain the moksha. And then we said, by the way, Karma Yoga is required to get your, pre-qualification or prepare yourself for that. And then we said chapters 2 and 3 pretty much completed the teaching. And then now chapter 4 and 5, more explanation or teaching is somewhat a little bit different than what was stated earlier, with additional.
Nachirena, once you live a life of a karma yoga, then within no time you gain the knowledge. That's what he's saying. Brahma adhigachati. So no time you gain the knowledge. Jnanena eva Brahma adhigachati. So you have to, he never said without knowledge you can get moksha. He didn't say that. So,
Guruji, can I speak?
Karma yoga buddhya jnanena Brahma adhigachati.
So in that case, so then the question, one other question, Jagmarji, sorry. We talked about different kinds of sannyasi, right? He introduced a new term, Nitya Karma Sannyasi. And the previous chapter, we said Sarva Karma Sannyasi. I always thought there are two types. One is that Vidvat and Vividisha Sannyasi. So how these two fit into those categories?
Yeah, so Vidvat and Vividisha Sannyasa refers to the ashrama sannyasa. Okay. Namely, somebody going through a ritual of Abhaya Pradhanam, etc., and Viraja Homa, etc., and then that person gives up these clothes, and then takes on a different set of clothes, and then person is literally, the world looks at that person as a sannyasi. The ashrama has changed from one ashrama to another, from Brahmachari ashrama to sannyasa or Vanaprastha to sannyasa. Okay. Now, that is Vidvat or Vividisha. Vidvat means one who is already a jnani, and the person, just a formality, taking to sannyasa. Other person wants to pursue the shastram, study of the shastram exclusively, and has performed all the duties and so ready to take to sannyasa and continue the study. That person is a Vividisha sannyasi, which is what these are ashrama sannyasi. So Nitya sannyasi, Sarva Karma sannyasa. What is Sarva Karma sannyasa? The renunciation of all actions, okay, that can only happen through knowledge, really speaking.
Correct.
So their knowledge is talked about. Through knowledge, jnanena sarva karma sannyasa. So jnana karma sannyasa, right? The previous chapter was called jnana karma sannyasa. Jnanena sarva karma sannyasa. And because only through knowledge actions can be given up. Even a sannyasi has duties to perform. And so the question is, the Vividisha sannyasi considers himself to be a karta, a doer, even being a sannyasi. And so the Sarva Karma sannyasa comes much later after Vividisha sannyasa for that person. Correct? I hope you're following me.
No, I'm saying is by definition of sannyasi means I already attained the knowledge. So I know I am not a doer.
So that means you are separating the ashrama sannyasa from that definition of sannyasa. So sannyasa can mean both. It can mean ashrama sannyasa, right? It can mean grahastha, grahasthashrama, vanaprastha, and then sannyasa. It is a name for an ashrama. It's a name for an ashrama. Like you are a grahastha and then he is a sannyasi. Like that we can say. But then when it comes to moksha, Jnanena eva moksha, only by knowledge moksha. And so the question is, anybody can get knowledge at any time. And so Grahastha can be a jnani, Vanaprasthi, like a Janaka, Vanaprasthi can be a jnani. Sannyasi can be a jnani, can be a jnani. Because Vividisha Sannyasa, as you already said, Sannyasa for the sake of the study of the Shastram. Therefore, jnanam in time, achirena adhigachati. And so I don't see any conflict anywhere.
No, not conflict. I was wondering the difference. Like, for example, in this chapter, he brought up another term, Nitya Karma Sannyas.
Nitya Sannyasi. So Nitya Sannyasi means, what did he say? Swamiji had said there, an accomplished karma yogi,
Yeah.
or a jnani, both. It can refer to both, he said. Okay.
Yes.
Nitya
So
Sannyasi.
Sarva Karma Sannyasi is also a jnani and Nitya Karma Sannyasi is also a jnani. So what was the difference between these two terms? That's what I was trying.
There is not a big difference. There is a difference in the sense Nitya Sannyasi means, see, that all the qualifications we have. So this Raga Dveshadi and dispassion, Vairagyam, etc. Is it coming and going or is it always there? So I am dispassionate when it comes to a few things. When it comes to a few other things, I'm very passionate about it. We say that also, I'm very passionate. And so I need certain things. Cannot survive without certain things. Leave out all the basic necessities. But so the Nitya Sannyasi means one who is an accomplished person, no longer wavering in Vairagya, Viveka, etc. So in the relative sense also, Nitya Sannyasi word can be used. That's how Shankara interprets in that shloka. And then, of course, a jnani is a Nitya Sannyasi. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guruji, can I speak?
Yeah, Lakshmi ji, go ahead.
Yeah. No, what I have understood is like, I just want you to tell me if I am right, that a sannyasi need not be, wearing saffron clothes or anything like that. The minute he is detached to the fruit of action. That happens only with the knowledge. So he becomes a sannyasi. Is it right?
That is one definition of sannyasa, correct. The other definition of sannyasa is ashrama sannyasa, changing clothes, going from one ashrama to another ashrama. Like somebody is a single bachelor and then becomes a grahastha. That by marriage, by the ritual of marriage and vivaha. So here also by some ritual that person becomes a sannyasa, takes on clothes. That is ashrama sannyasa, bahya sannyasa, externally a sannyasa. But another definition of sannyasa is internally here in the mind. Am I a sannyasi or not? That is the question. So Krishna,
because one incident had taken place. Like you must be knowing that Kukke Subramanya Swamiji, Vidyabhushana Tirtha Swamiji. When I had gone to Kukke, he was in a sannyasa ashrama, and he had sung a song. He was singing to God, and I was there at that time during that puja. And during this, what's that, Ganesh Utsava and all that, we have people, pandals on the road and people coming and singing there. And after he renounced sannyasa ashrama, he entered into grihastha ashrama. And it so happened that he came on our road to sing. I felt literally I had cried on that day. I felt, where did I see Swamiji? And today, where am I seeing him? So then I thought maybe that was his karma. How do you explain that?
Yeah, prarabdha karma is there. So nobody is immune to prarabdha karma.
Because we always feel that we want somebody to, we have to see them higher up, mentally. So, Swamiji singing at the Kukke Matham and singing on the road was, actually that incident had shaken me. Why did this happen to this person?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the context there and whether he's singing on the street means is it out of his own choice or what?
Out of his own choice. Out of his own choice. In the pandals and all, people come and sing, like you have so many people singing, you know, it could be classical.
Okay, go ahead and unmute yourself. 1 second.
Sorry. So, I mean, maybe is it because of prarabdha karma one chooses to be like that, or?
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. A sannyasi has no karma except prarabdha karma for the body. And so, the sannyasi doesn't consider that there is any karma, but the body will, will take its own time. And so whatever happens, happens. And so we may feel sorry, we may feel this, we may feel that. But that person doesn't feel all these things.
Thank you, Guruji.
So we have to be comfortable. We have to look at what we can learn from that experience is we can learn to not judge like that. Because we have certain ideas. This is how things are.
Yes.
This is how things are. That person must be sitting on a pita, a big chair made of teak wood, and then only he is a big guy. We have all these ideas. How do we know all this? We first work on ourselves. Then we will see, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Anything else? Okay, it's already 8:30 here, so we'll call it a day. And then any volunteers for talking on chapter 3 and 4, we can continue next class. Yeah. And then 24th Guru Purnima Utsava is there. So what we'll do is we will have we'll have chants. I think we should. I also want to do a puja, Vyasa puja. I want to do. So those who are interested in doing that puja, please bring a picture of Vyasa or a murti of Vyasa. Keep it there. Keep all your puja samagri ready and flowers. Maybe a panchapatra with water, etc., and a plate and things like that. We'll do a puja and then chant some shlokas. And all of you can chant, Totakashtakam is there, Lingashtakam, whatever for Guru Vyasa Puja, whatever things that you are familiar with, you please come and chant. Okay? Let's do that. And this is 24th morning, so I'm guessing Saturday morning. So it depends on your time, etc. Saturday morning, if you're free, we'll meet at 6:30 and we will do the Vyasa Puja for about around hour and a half.
So when will be our chanting? We decided to chant.
That chanting, I thought we'll postpone it because being Vyasa Purnima, we can do the chanting, but why not use that Utsava to do what we traditionally do, and then we can always record the chapter 3 another time as well, like after a class or instead of a class, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amritakalaşahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amritakalaşahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amritakalaşahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Thank you. See you all online.